Ever feel like you've got massive dreams, but your daily life looks more like an endless loop of scrolling, streaming, and telling yourself you'll start tomorrow? You're ambitious. You know you've got the potential to do something big, something meaningful. But instead of chasing after it, you find yourself lost in a rabbit hole of videos, like a guy digging a swimming pool with a stick in the jungle. It's entertaining, sure, but deep down, you know you're avoiding something. You might have a side hustle idea, a fitness goal, or maybe you've been saying for years that you'll finally learn that skill you keep Googling every January. But when it comes time to act, suddenly Netflix, social media, or even reorganizing your sock drawer feels easier. The worst part? You know you're capable. You're not clueless, and you're not lazy by nature. You're just stuck. And every time you think about starting, the weight of it all feels overwhelming. So why does this happen? Why do smart, ambitious people who genuinely want to succeed, get caught in this cycle of procrastination, laziness, and self-frustration? It comes down to the two voices in your head. One says, "Let's go, build the empire, chase the dream, get moving." The other whispers, maybe later. And 9 times out of 10, that second voice wins. You might call it Mr. Beanbag, because he's always dragging you back to the couch. The reason he wins is simple. Your brain is wired to avoid discomfort. Chasing big goals? That's uncomfortable. It means effort, uncertainty, and sometimes even failure. Your brain would rather keep you safe and cozy than push you into the unknown. So instead of starting, you wait around for motivation to magically appear. Here's the plot twist. Motivation isn't hiding under your couch cushions. It doesn't just show up like a pizza delivery guy ringing your doorbell. Motivation doesn't create action. Action creates motivation. That's the secret people forget. You don't wait until you feel like working out before going to the gym. You drag yourself there, lift a weight or two, and then suddenly you feel motivated because you've already started. So the real question isn't, how do I get motivated, but how do I take action when I don't feel like it? And the answer lies in a few simple strategies that trick your brain into moving even when you'd rather stay stuck. The first step, shrink the goal. Most of us look at the mountain we want to climb and freeze because it seems impossible. Writing a book? Sounds massive. Getting fit? Feels like years of work. Building a business? Where do you even begin? The trick is to ignore the mountain and focus on the pebble. Want to write a book? Don't aim for 10 pages. Start with 1 sentence. Want to get healthier? Forget about a 2-hour workout. Just commit to 5 minutes of movement. Want to build that business? Start with a single email or 1 small task. Small steps trick your brain into saying, "This isn't so bad." And once you start, momentum kicks in. Second step, set a timer. Tell yourself you'll work for just 5 minutes. That's it, 5 minutes. Most of the time, once you start, you won't stop. Think of it like tricking a child into trying 1 bite of broccoli. Once they taste it, they might keep going. Your brain works the same way. You don't have to commit to an hour. You just have to commit to starting. Third step, reward yourself. Your brain loves rewards. It thrives on them. That's why you can binge a show for 3 hours without blinking, but can't sit through 10 minutes of focused work. But when you attach a reward to your effort, you flip the switch. Did 20 minutes of deep work? Awesome. Now you've earned your scroll time guilt-free. Finished a small task? Great. Grab that snack you've been eyeing. When your brain learns that effort equals reward, it starts craving the effort itself. Step 4, embrace messy progress. Perfection is the ultimate trap. We tell ourselves we'll start when the timing is right, when the plan is perfect, when we've got all the tools and knowledge. That's a lie your brain feeds you to avoid discomfort. The truth is, messy progress beats perfect plans every single time. It's better to be moving forward, even awkwardly, than sitting still waiting for the stars to align. Now, let's talk about burnout, because it's the other side of the coin. Maybe you've had those rare moments when you did push yourself. You sprinted out of the gate, put in hours of nonstop work, and then crashed so hard you didn't want to look at your project for weeks. That's burnout. It doesn't happen because you worked, it happened because you worked without balance. The fix is simple. Rest strategically. Work for 25 minutes, then rest for 5. Repeat that cycle. It's called the Pomodoro technique, and it works because it builds rhythm. You're not grinding endlessly, you're balancing work with breaks so your brain doesn't revolt. So, here's the part most people don't realize. You're not lazy, you're overwhelmed. Laziness implies you don't care, but that's not true. You do care. The problem is your goals feel too big, too heavy, and your brain reacts by shutting down. But the moment you break those goals into tiny, bite-sized steps, the overwhelm fades. You take action, you build momentum, and suddenly you feel unstoppable. Think of it like pushing a car. At first, it's brutally hard. The car doesn't move, and you feel ridiculous shoving it with all your strength. But once those wheels start rolling, even slightly, it gets easier. That's momentum. And once momentum builds, you don't have to fight as hard to keep moving. So, the next time you catch yourself scrolling endlessly or rewatching the same show you've already seen twice, stop and ask, what's one tiny step I can take right now? Not tomorrow, not next week, right now. Can you write one sentence? Do 5 push-ups? Open that document you've been avoiding? Send 1 email? That's how it starts. And here's the funny thing. Your brain might resist at first, but once you're in motion, it feels good. The very thing you thought would drain you actually energizes you. And before you know it, that lazy, overwhelmed version of yourself gets replaced by someone who's actually making progress. So, here's the challenge. What's your next small step? Don't think too big, don't plan too much. Just pick something ridiculously small and do it. Set that 5-minute timer. Write that 1 line. Do that 1 rep. Because once you start, you'll realize you never needed motivation. You just needed movement. And movement, no matter how small, is how you turn ambitious daydreams into real progress. So, go ahead. What's your first tiny step?